Stefon Diggs, I love Stefon Diggs. He is fiery, he is determined, and if things don't go his way, he's not afraid to say or do things about it. It has led to him being traded by the Vikings, traded by the Bills. Neither was all that much of a surprise, especially not the Bills trade. I think the timing was just because they could have done it before last season with the same cap consequences if they'd done it after June 1, and maybe things would have been better last year if that dynamic wasn't hovering over them. But fresh start. Smart for the Texans to give him a little bit of a raise, 1-year deal, so he's got an incentive to play well. He's got an incentive to get along, and then he'll find out, as we all will, what the next step for him is after this season. It sets up for potential success for Diggs. It all comes back to what he still has left in the tank. This is year 11 for him.
Yeah,
or 10.
It is.
10 or 11?
10,
I'll look it up.
because he was drafted in 2015 and it's 2024, so it must be 10, right? Am I crazy? Unless he was drafted in 2014.
That's my question. Was it 14 or 15? I'll have an answer here. 2015.
I want to say it was 15.
So it is 10.
Yeah. Okay.
2015.
All right. Yeah. So you're 10. And look, I mean, Stefon Diggs, I think, is a great player. I really do. But, there were production issues last year from him. When you come to the back half of the season, didn't have a 100-yard game. So, that's where, if Stefon Diggs is willing to be the kind of role player, maybe, and that, sometimes I know is a pejorative term, but it's true. He's not, in my opinion, one of the top 2 guys on the Houston Texans roster at receiver right now. So that's where, he can be a really good weapon, but is he going to feel good about the role that he plays on the Texans? I hope the answer is yes. I really do.
He had some comments to GQ, and this is the time of year where it seems about like every year an article emerges with some fairly controversial comments from a player who might say on the back end, I was taken out of context, or I didn't know it was being recorded. We've had some of those dust-ups in the past. Diggs said, and I'm just going to focus on one part of it, you can't roll out of bed and get 800 yards in the first 8 games. Your best receiver's doing that. You tell me about the last 10. What changed? Were there changes going on? I just pay attention to what really happened and not what people try to act like happened. For the last 10 games, I forgot how to effing play football. And he's referring to the fact that he was averaging 100 yards a game out of the gates last year. I think it was 6 or 7 games. It turned after Joe Brady replaced Ken Dorsey as offensive coordinator, and Diggs basically became the forgotten man. On the incompletion to Khalil Shakir in the end zone that preceded the missed field goal against the Chiefs in the divisional round, Diggs was wide open underneath. So he got phased out of the offense. That's why I don't think it hurts the Bills as much as some would say to lose Diggs, because they weren't using Diggs the way that another team might. So, it's nothing inherent to him. You don't suddenly fall off during a season. He still had it during the season, but he no longer fit what the Bills were trying to do.
Yeah, and that's one of the issues, right? That Stefon Diggs is a guy that wants to win. So, and this is the thing that we say about really all great receivers. And if they're not getting the ball and the team is still winning, then they still feel okay. But if they're not getting the ball and the team's not winning, then that's when they're going to create the issues, because it's like, hey, I am one of the best guys here, and if you get me the ball, I'm going to help the team win. So, there's a tension there. But I mean, if you look at the Bills' offense, under Brady versus what they were doing under Dorsey, I mean, it was more effective. So that's kind of where that tension was. And now Stefon Diggs is no longer a Buffalo Bill.
Okay, you have a chance to win $1 million in the NBC sweepstakes on Yahoo Fantasy. Just download the redesigned Yahoo Fantasy app or go to NBCSports.com/fantasymillion for additional details. What are you waiting for?
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.